Okay, this is the continuation of lesson number 96, homework, where Paul asks us to utilize the display for our pitch, yaw, and the heading. Okay, what I have here is I started out, I had a display with just three of these guys. Uh, it was roll, pitch, and yaw, right? Well, they decided to take this and put it a little bit more realistic where you have this thing here. I need a pencil so I can point. Here it is. All right. This guy right here at the top is always pointing north. Okay. Or that's the heading. Then there's another little goodie right over here. This little triangle. You can barely see it because even as large display this is, still can't really make it out on the camera. But there's a little marker there. If I turn it a little bit, you should be able to see it. The little marker is going with the turning. So that's always heading towards the north. This is the heading that you would have if you were, if I turn it around like this, if I can get it back into the screen. Here we go. This is going south. If I go south, you can see there's a little triangle right here. It's really hard to see because it's with a camera. You can see it's kind of thicker there, but that's a triangle right there over top of the 180. And I got the compass always moving. So when you move your heading around, the compass stays still. And actually, it looks like it's moving, but in actuality, you're the one that's moving. Anyhow, that was really tough to figure out. Okay, let's go through the software real quick. All right, let's go up here. No, that's the same. That's all stuff the same. Okay, so here's where I added the compass card. I've set up a subroutine. Well, I guess it's actually called a function that calls the compass card, and it give it the CX, the CY. You give it the radius of the display or the circle. You give it the float the heading degrees and the magnetic north degrees. And all that stuff gets down in here. You'll see that we draw a circle, the CXCY with a radius, whatever you set up. And then this is where you set the tick marks up. For integer d equals 0, starting at 0, then you go from d is less than 360, it'll start counting up. And in I would say groups of 30 or by 30 on each step. And you can see that on the display. If you look at it, you can see the 30-degree steps all the way around. They got a little tick mark on every one of them. And this is the then we just draw a line x1, x2. I believe that's this thing down here is the drawing the lines, the little ticks as you go around. And then we have, I changed the font size to something smaller so that it would fit in there. Barely does. And then I set up angles for north, east, south, and west to be 0, 90, 180, and 270. And then we go for I is I4, I plus. And so that drops us, that picks us up and draws those on the circle as it goes around. Now let's get down here. Here's the magnetic north marker. It is here's where it calculates it, and this is where it sets up the CX and CY, or MX and MY, where you use down here when you draw the thing. Say it's to draw a triangle. That triangle is over here, right there. You can see the little triangle right there. Okay, then we got the fixed lubber line. I've heard that before, but only vaguely. Anyhow, it sets the upper triangle here. This is your heading indicator right here. So you're going this direction. Let me get this back to where you can see what I'm pointing at. There we go. Everything is backwards on this camera. Was there some way I could turn that around? Anyhow, yeah, this is the line that you're heading right here. And right here is the little triangle indicating north, because we're kind of facing east right now. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, this is where they display the angle down here below the circle or the compass. It'll tell you what degrees your heading is. And then you go down to, what is this, drawstring? Buffer. I'm trying to remember what I did there. It's drawing the string. I believe that's for, this is to numeric heading. Because the buffer is where you got the information. Then W is to get the string from the buffer. And then I know what this is. This is where this sets the string, and it adjusts the string so it's W is whatever the buffer size is, and then it divides it by 2 for the X, and the Y is the radius plus 12. So it's trying to get it down here. It doesn't want it up here, it wants it down here. Anyhow, then we got another one called draw gauge, right? And it's pretty much the same kind of stuff without all the tick marks and stuff. And then you get down here. Let's go down to the bottom where you can see where I call it eventually. Really adds to the size of this thing. So here's the gauge. I just call draw the gauge for roll C, and I call draw the gauge for pitch C, or pitch and roll. And then for the compass, I just draw the compass, which is that function above. And I set the X and the Y, and then the size of the radius. And I make this one a little bit bigger because it's a lot more to see there, so it's difficult to really see all the stuff on it. Then you all see is actually your heading, and the magnetic north degree is this little guy here. Oh, actually, that's actually the interior circle that goes around. Anyhow, there's my homework for round 2, because Paul made a mention that we could do something like this, so I thought I'd try it, see what happens. And there it is. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and bye.